Welcome to Mole Confidential for Season 4, Episode 6. Today we have Piper, Extra, myself, and Horsey. So let's get right to your questions. First up, why take diamonds away for switching the boats? Even Horsey has to laugh about that. Because we're mean is our first answer. We give the players rules, and some of the times we cut out some of the, like when they're asking lots and lots of questions about the challenge. But we did state, or I did state, that they either had to pick up their boat and put it in the chest, or they could just carry it. One of the reasons for that is something that was in one of the other questions, which I'm going to go ahead and add now, is why mole expert craftsman boats don't break. I added a plug-in so the boats wouldn't break, because boats are very, very horrible in Minecraft. I mean, they look at dirt the wrong way and they break, or any other non-water block, they just fall apart. So there is a plug-in that makes it so the boats never break. And what I didn't want was all these boats floating around in that tight area to cause the players to get stuck and not be able to get out. And then we'd have to restart the challenge or do something crazy or have them try to break the boats. Could kind of be considered mole-ish. Maybe the boats were left for whatever reasons. Don't know. But it was clearly stated to do it. And the players know when they break rules, we institute penalties. Time, diamond, whatever they may be. So that's why we did it. The players knew to pick the boats up. You could hear the first couple even talking about picking their boats up. So why the other ones left their boats, you'll have to wait for the reunion.
The next comment we had was about players' thoughts during the quiz about who the mole is, and basically you can't trust what the players are saying in their interviews. They interview separately and by themselves, just with Buzz. So they could say, "Oh, I think it's blah blah blah, who is the mole," but really when they take the quiz they could be saying something else, and they could be doing this for multiple reasons. I mean, when I was a player in season 2, I had a fairly good idea who I thought the mole was. So instead of saying that person's name every single week and having like viewers think, "Oh, Piper thinks it's this person," for entertainment value, I mixed it up a bit. So that was just one side of the reason. There could be other reasons why people, don't say it, or maybe they are saying the truth. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going on in their minds? It's a very psychological game, this. So, yeah, you can't always trust what they think.
And we do not tell them what to say.
No.
So, like, if during the interview, if one of them says, "I think it's blah," and I myself know blah is the mole, I may say, "Could you do something else?" No, I don't do that. They say whatever they want to say. We don't give them any advice. They could be telling you the truth. They couldn't. This is what's the fun part of the game for the viewer, because you're in a sense playing the game like they are. You're trying to determine, who's the mole by watching the gameplay, watching what they say when they play and all that. You're getting a little extra in a sense that you're getting to hear their comments. So about who they think is the mole. And it's up to you to decide if they're being truthful or they're being honest. Take that information, look at who's eliminated, who stays. Maybe it gives you some help. Maybe it throws you off the track. But that's the fun part about this game. All right, Extra has the next one.
So somebody commented that a sign was placed in game during a previous challenge by the mole. Now, the way it works is the challenges are built ahead of time, and the mole sees and places the signs before, obviously, they actually do the challenge. So they're all done before time, before it's done.
Yeah, so I think the person who asked that question was thinking, help the helpless, that a sign was placed by the mole, and I think they thought it was happening during the challenge. So therefore the mole had to be one of those explorers running around, because that's the only way they could have placed the sign. But the signs and everything are there, as Extra said beforehand. So you can't rely on that. Kind of along those same lines, somebody had asked, can the players look at the mole videos for extra info? And that's a question I think we've dealt with a lot, and I've commented a lot in the videos. No, the entire season is filmed ahead of time. We filmed all of the episodes that you're seeing aired for Mole all ahead of time. I never aired the first episode until we were done recording everything. Now, these confidentials are filmed after the previous episode airs, and that's so we can address your questions. So you could call these pseudo live. But the players can watch it, but the only reason to watch it now is to see how it all plays out, maybe see things that they want to make notes for during the reunion. But that's the reason we don't air this as we do it, because it would be pointless. Players could watch the video and maybe get better ideas on who is the mole, or if somebody's on to them. So it's all recorded ahead of time.
Okay, we had somebody comment in the video that Silicon's head has now returned, and if you've seen the previous Mole videos and read the comments and seen Mole Confidential last week, you will know that Silicon's head was placed accidentally by mistake, and because we filmed all of the episodes, we can't go back and change it because they've all been done. So you're always going to have Silicon's head there, and we're very sorry about that. But yeah.
Yeah, his head was accidentally placed. His head was accidentally placed where George's was supposed to be. George was our first player eliminated. So it was supposed to be George's head. It was Silicon's head. We went through the entire season. No player noticed it. Not until after everything was recorded and we started doing confidentials. You guys noticed it, and I think Gizmo noticed it. So we can't fix it. So our mistake, but I think this person's comment was because he thought it was fixed, and we put George's head there. But we haven't because we can't. It's all done.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Challenge 11. Tower Escape. Piper, you made this one, so would you like to talk about it?
Yep. Basically, I think it was actually you that came up with the idea originally to have a big tower that they've got to go through. I wanted different layers in it so that they could see each other, they could see how each other's doing, different challenges within them. So yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward really. You've just got the gravel challenge, then the cobble challenge, and then the obsidian maze, the sandstone challenge to get out to the top, and the first player who gets up is the winner. There's items in there to craft because obviously to get through cobble you can't exactly get through it with your fist very easily. So I had to place hidden chests in the gravel section, and of course there's the hidden danger of gravel as well, falling down, which isn't very easy to get through. And then the obsidian maze isn't actually that hard because it's such a small area. There's only like I think 3 different layers to it. So I did put a few hidden chests around as well, and also the players needed to get a torch because it's horrible in there just by yourself. In the darkness. And then we got the sand challenge, and it was a race to find the exit and to come out. So yeah, I think that was pretty much the challenge. Don't know what else to say about it.
Well, it should be noted, some people I think maybe were a little confused, players possibly and viewers. These towers were literally identical. Piper built one, and then we copied it with World Edit so that there was 5 of them, or 4 more to make 5 total. So every single thing was the same. The chest placement, items, everything.
Yeah, and we did testing as well, going through it to see how long it took and things like that. So, yeah.
Okay, so here we are at Chow 12, the infamous challenge. They put their lovely flowers up here, as you can see. And then we had the maze. Now, I used World Edit to generate the maze. One of the things that I didn't plan on was the fact that they would attempt to use like F5 or whatever to go third person. So the fact that it was only 2 blocks high made it easier for them. But they still failed the challenge for whatever reasons. Here you can see our 3 boats that were our 3 penalties.
Yep.
There wasn't much to the challenge. I mean, I made this one. I wanted to make it relatively easy. Here was their little underground tunnel. that they had to go through. And the parkour was so basic. I found it amazed that they ended up falling on it. I bet Piper does it without falling. Oh, that was
Ooh,
close.
just.
So I wanted to challenge. Mazes have always been a kind of a staple of the game, and I wanted a challenge that had a maze, and I just wanted to have a little bit of boating. I used a plug-in so the boats wouldn't break. I kept it to be relatively tight little windy thing, but pretty simple. I wanted the maze itself to be difficult. It was actually easier for them to get through it than I thought it would be in certain cases, but they still had some struggle. And you can see here, there was a sign from the mall. Rats are better at mazes than you are. Love them all.
And again, for this one, we did test runs to see how quick it would take people to get through based on, our scores and stuff. So just to make it easy, fair. I don't really know where I'm going with that one.
All right, so here is a sneak peek at a challenge in our next episode. What could it be? So let's take a look at Gizmo's room and see if the mole had anything to say. Gizmo, Gizmo, Gizmo. Looks like he isn't such a clever girl. Love them all. For those that don't understand that one, Gizmo loves to quote TV shows and movies that he loves, and obviously Doctor Who is one of his favorite things. And a lot of times the Doctor will say to his companions, who are generally female, he'll say, "Clever girl," when they do something clever. And Giz will say that to like anybody. It doesn't matter if they're boy or girl. If they do something, he'll say, "Clever girl."
Yep.
So that was a pretty good knock by the mole at Giz. So very well done. All right, so your guys' votes are in from our previous episode. So this is the voting up until episode 6 aired. So you guys were thinking by a majority that Laser John is the mole.
Ooh.
Right or wrong, you'll have to wait and see. And of course, that moment, the moment that Horsey is eagerly awaiting, and we know you guys all are. So, Piper, take it away.
The mole comment of the week. I'm better than Gizmo.
Okay. Our comment of the week comes from Kyle Barkhouse, and he says,
4 are left, and 1 is the mole. The game has certainly taken its toll. With 2 left to be eliminated, who will be the next to go and leave the game a victim of the mole?
there you have it. Couldn't have said it better, Kyle. You guys, our fans have the weirdest voices. I don't quite understand this.
Yeah, I don't.
But anyway, that's a great summary of what's coming down, because we're coming down the final stretch here. We're down to our final 4. We'll have our next episode, which will bring us to the final 3. And then our next episode where the final 3 compete and we find out who is our last victim, who is the final survivor, and who is the mole. So if you guys will say goodbye, we will head out.
Bye.
Bye.